Good morning, everyone. Kate and Fiona here, and welcome to this week's Facebook Live, where we're talking about investing in yourself.
Yeah, this is a topic that comes up so frequently. People would like to do something, they'd like things to be different, they'd like to change things, and something's holding them back. So, have you ever thought, wow, I'd love to invest in myself, I'd love to have some help, but for some reason you're going, I shouldn't need that help. I shouldn't need someone else. I should, I've done some study, I'm competent, I'm able in so many areas. Why is it that I'm not achieving the career success other people are? Did I miss the memo? Did something happen where I didn't get the right instructions? So this tension around shouldn't need help, but it looks as though maybe some help would be valuable. The other part of this might be, what happens if I got some help and it didn't work, didn't actually fix the problem? And what I had to face was, oh, maybe there's something wrong with me. That could feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think, hiring coaches, was all the rage, a couple of years ago. I think it's circling back a little bit now. My personal view is everyone at some point over the course of their career is going to need to invest in themselves, in their career, to help them get clear about what they want, where they're going, what's holding them back, all of those sorts of things. There's just no question these days, the way that we do careers, the way organizations work. Of course, the question is, whether you do it now, whether you do it in 5 or 10 years time. I've just had an old friend reach out and say, hey, I'm looking for a career coach. Can you give me a referral? And what's interesting about that is, in my head, I was like, yeah, you needed one 10 years ago. And, you're going to spend the money, whether you do it now, whether you do it in 10 years, is kind of irrelevant. The question, of course, is what is it costing you by sticking around and waiting and kind of fumbling in the dark for 10 years, trying to figure it out all on your own. And, you and I have this ship has sailed for you and I. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars now on programs and investment. We've got one that we're both in that's 8,000 each this year. We've just signed up to another one that we're spending, which is 3,000. Our investment and our development is crucial for us. And I think that's very clear because we see it as a constant upskilling and up-leveling, right? It's never a reflection of I'm less than or what's wrong with me. It's always how can I go faster? How can I release myself of perhaps some of this circular thinking? Personally, as someone who is a coach, I never cease to be amazed when I'm working with coaches how I have these insights and how I never was able to see it myself. And so I think it's really interesting, like, how do you hold your confidence when you're reaching out? What we're talking about is asking for help and paying for that help, right? When we always talk about an act of confidence is asking for help and staying in your personal power, not being weakened or being vulnerable because I'm asking for help, not seeing or assuming that actually I should be able to do this on my own. The fact that I'm asking for help is a weakening step. Actually, it's a strengthening step that says, you know what, actually, I'm looking to add to who I am. I'm looking to strengthen my clarity. I'm looking to strengthen my capability. I'm looking to strengthen my confidence. And actually, there is a really important piece here, right, around blind faith. I mean, you and I have thrown stacks of cash into stuff, both courses. I've done every woo-woo treatment on the planet. I remember sitting on a bed that had these crazy crystals, and it was like crystal therapy. And I was chatting with a friend last week actually who was doing talk therapy, but it was like, foreign language stuff. We have done all sorts of crazy stuff. And so to a degree, we've got blind faith, but I think you've got to back yourself. It's not a question if these things work, right? There's no question that they do. There's nothing wrong with you. It's a matter of actually kind of just taking the breath and stepping over and going, you know what? I really want things to be different. And I need to be the one to take myself there.
Yeah, I think the piece here is, it's getting out of your own story, getting out of the piece where, whatever it is that's going on about why you shouldn't or what would happen or the what ifs, all of that sort of thing. And it is being prepared to actually look at the reality of what's it costing you by not doing it. And I think that's the piece that, when we're working with people and we often unpack, they haven't, they've been in a kind of sort of complacent treading water position for 2-3 years. They're just starting to think about what next. So they haven't been proactively working on what's my career plan, where do I want to go, and that sort of thing. And when you start to add that up, 3, 4, 5 years of, potentially $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 more, it's a lot of money at stake. It's not just that, it's career satisfaction. There's a whole lot of other factors, as you said, strengthening yourself, being able to operate more easily in the world. There's lots of great upsides, but the cost can be huge, and sometimes we're just not even conscious of what that is. So I think this raising to consciousness, getting clear about, are you treading water? What's that costing you? What could be different if you were to, perhaps think about, I want to find the fast track, right? I want to find the way to move quickly from where I am now to having the career and the remuneration that I'm worth and deserve.
Yeah. This piece around, we're often always hooked into, and I think it's convenient to be, what's the cost, right, of investing in myself, either the program, the coach, the therapist, whatever. We conveniently avoid the cost of not. And, it's a conversation I have with all clients that are talking about working with me. Is great. We know the cost and we can talk about ROI. But what's the cost if you don't do something different in 12 months time? What won't you have? Like, what will still be the same that you don't want to be the same? Exactly the stacking impact around not asking for what you want when it comes to remuneration is huge, right? If you think about that repeated over the course of the career, and I've talked about this already a little bit, if we talk about a 20-30 year career where we're not asking and negotiating salary, the impact on that and your superannuation is huge. The impact of, treading water every 3 years in your career because you're not sure about what you want. People always kind of say, oh yeah, I'm confused. I'm not sure about what I want. I always say the answer is not going to fall from the sky. You're not going to wake up one day and go, oh, that's the next career opportunity. People seem to think that all of these sorts of things, just will miraculously appear, and they won't. We do need to do the work to unpack, understand ourselves, figure out what we want. And of course you can stumble around in the dark for 10 years and try and figure out, or, we all know my obsession with time, right? I'm far more interested in what's the quick way, right? How can I go higher and how can I go faster? That's kind of my personal obsession. So I think thinking about, the cost of not doing something. I think the other thing is that I've always used myself personally is, if it was free, would I do it? Because immediately that actually takes the cash piece out. And any fear about, if I spend money, will I lose the money? Like any of the money attachment stuff and the money story stuff, it's removed. And then I can make a really pure decision around, yes, it's something I want to do, or no, it's something that's not right for me right now. Or not right for me. And then if I get to a yes, I'm like, cool, now how do I find the money? How do I find it? And that's just a resourcing conversation. Money choices are just priorities. It's all about prioritizing where you want to spend money. I think the beautiful thing at the moment, I was reflecting on this, is no international holidays next year. So many of us have discretionary cash sitting around, probably not that we're super happy about, but we've got money sitting around. And so on some level, it's a perfect opportunity to get things in our career and things in our life really sorted, creating the plan and actually starting to live a life by design rather than default.
Yeah, I think that there's so much, to grab onto here and to think about, how will I do this differently, and what am I waiting for, really? What am I waiting for, and what signals do I need to actually back myself, do a bit of due diligence, figure out where to go, and who can help me take that fast track. We've seen so many great examples of people, prepared to invest in themselves and achieve amazing things, whether it's in, Accelerate or over in our Acts of Confidence course. There's some really wonderful results when people do step in and take those chances.
So thanks for joining us on this week's Facebook Live. If you know anyone who could benefit from this or any of our other confidence conversations, please share this with them or tag them below. If you want to go deeper with your relationship with confidence, please feel free to check out our website, www.coreconfidence.com.au, or reach out and we can brainstorm a plan to make that happen. Take care, guys, and have a great week.